Coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends. Welcome to the video, guys. How are you doing? I'm doing fantastic, man. Not the ass, but I'm doing fantastic. I got my birthday present from my son. Surprise, surprise! It's a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man shirt, man. He is so into Ghostbusters. I know I mentioned it in the channel here before, but dude, everything I do is Ghostbusters. I'm pretending to be a ghost. I'm pretending to be a Ghostbuster. Everything that I do, my whole life is the first time that he's ever been really obsessed with something. You parents know what I'm talking about, and those of you who aren't yet, maybe you'll know someday. Anyway, guys, that's my life. That's my life. So I hope you enjoy the shirt as much as I do. Look at my head. It's getting chopped off there.
Hey, Vsauce, Michael here.
I'd like to say it was for Halloween, but really it's going to be an all-year-round affair because he wants me to wear it 24/7. Maybe I'll get a few of them. Today, we thought we'd do something a little bit different here on the channel. Usually, I give you my opinion on the best and worst and top 10, whatever the heck, champions in the game. But today, there's 3 really good websites out there. If you know more, go ahead and let me know in the comments below. But Deadwood Jedi for everything clan boss, everything speed tuning, and it's actually getting better and better. A bunch of guides there. For tier lists, I usually go to YumiLove.net and I go to hellhades.com. I know Chosen has a tier list as well, so there's a lot of resources out there. But I went to Hellhades and I went to Yumi Love and I looked at their 10 worst legendary champions. And would you believe it? It just goes to show you how really subjective this stuff is. But man, only one champion was on both lists. Isn't that crazy? One champion was on both lists. Isn't that crazy?
Looks normal to me.
If I asked you guys in the comments, who are the worst 3 champions in Raid Shadow Legends, I'd imagine a lot of the same names, but out of the bottom 10, only 1 repeat. Isn't that gnarly? Anyway, guys, I'm gonna go through all these champions quickly in today's video because let's be real. You can extract value. I'm going to tell you which champions that would not be on my bottom 10 because there's a few of them that I actually like here on these lists. And beauty is in the eye of the beholder, as we always say here, especially, you know, I always repeat this, but you know your account best, you know your team's best, and you know how you can personally extract value from any given champion inside the game. So anyway, guys, with that disclaimer out of the way with, let's go ahead and start out. So, Tila Gorman is, according to Hellhades, that's the worst legendary inside the game. And by the way, again, all these websites will be linked for you guys if you want to read along or if you want to check out where your favorite champions fall, right? Tila Gorman, the worst champion, the worst legendary in Raid Shadow Legends. And again, these are champions you might want to think twice about booking or building, you know? So seeing as how difficult legendary books are to get in this game, player.
We're just getting started.
Stealing a random buff on the A1. Okay, attack 1 enemy, HP burn for 2 turns, continuous heal on all allies. This was buffed. It's hard to believe it was buffed, but it was buffed a while ago. And then the A3, an AoE with a leech and heal reduction. Woo! Yeah, she's really bad. Really bad. So many epics I would rather have than Tila Gorman. All right, Hellhades, as the 2nd worst champion in the game, who does he have? He has Queen Ava. Queen Ava. Now, I hate Queen Ava.
Just so you know, plenty of people find me very attractive, okay?
But I will say this. She's a solid campaign farmer. Not as good as Fellhound, but she's a solid campaign farmer, I guess, right? She got this, you know, instantly resets the cooldown if a target is killed. So you can just energy drain 3 times in a row on 12-3 and whatever, 12-6, whatever you're farming. So she's got that going for her. Other than that, I think she needs a rework, man. I mean, this Ancient Curse has a block revival, but it's not that hard hitting, right? So it's like, okay, great. What am I going to do with that? Then a heal reduction on 1 enemy on the A1. So I actually agree with both of these so far. They both be on my do not upgrade. Again, unless you're just really dying for a campaign farmer and you don't have Fellhound in terms of Queen Ava. Okay, next up, she's not bad. She's like a 6-second campaign farmer or so, depending on how you build her. Hellhades, 3rd worst champion in the game, and I agree again here. It's Pixneal. Now, the thing is, though, she wouldn't be my 3rd worst, right? She would be, after the buff to Pixneal, she's still trash, but she's a little bit better.
Thank you.
You know, she's like a little bit better. It's mainly this A2 that's not a bad ability. It's really not, you know. Increased defense and continuous heal on all allies for 2 turns on a 3-turn cooldown. Only 2 books required to get it down to 3 turns. That's not bad. That's not bad. If we stop there, a period after 2 turns, we're cool. It's not a bad ability. For a lot of players out there, you know, not end game, but for a lot of players. And then it's an AoE attack under freeze on enemies under freeze debuffs with a weaken on those enemies. So if you can set her up with a freeze, it actually becomes a pretty, you know, potent ability to have, right? Especially in the arena or something like that if you want some support on a go second team. And then Icicle Barrage, not the best ability. You're playing some a chance of placing freezes all over the place. 100% if it hits an enemy 2 times. Just make it an AoE freeze. You know, just make it an AoE freeze, player, and please. Please.
Bitch, that's a terrible idea.
To me, she's not the trashiest champion anymore, because you can get some value out of her, you know, but I wouldn't go out of my way booking her out unless you really, really need it. Next up here is going to be none other than Noble. Noble also got a buff recently. Let's see if he's any good. He's got all these. I'm not going to read the whole kit. I'm not going to read the A1. Attacks one enemy, ignoring defense. Fills his champion's turn meter. If the target's under freeze, true fear. Decreases the cooldown of dismay, which is the A3. A3 is an AoE attack, 100% chance of decreasing each target's turn meter by 50%. If there are any enemies under fear, true fear debuffs, also places champion's turn meter by the amount fill by the amount the enemy loses.
How about now, Benson?
That's not a bad, honestly. Like, they must have buffed this ability, right? I know they buffed him, so this must have been it. It's not that bad of an ability. A 50% AoE turn meter is not bad, but then you get like Bat Swarm on Nethril, 75%. You got the A3 from Razin, 100% on Bogwalker. So like, I don't know. What is it, Bog Brew or Bog Walker? What is Razin's A3? In either way, he's not the best champion in the game, but now it's hard to say that he's like absolute trash. But I wouldn't build him. Bog down, Bog Walker. Come on, Ash. Granted, Nobles was on a 3-turn cooldown, so there's that at least, right? How do you guys feel about Noble? Am I being too kind to him and saying that maybe not a bottom 10 anymore? I don't know. I'm on the fence on that guy. All right, next up, guys, is going to be, according to HellHades.com. By the way, Hell Hades Gaming Network YouTube channel, that's a sneaky, freaking good YouTube channel. Check it out, guys. Gerda Bog Brew. Gerda, my girl. I mean, pretty woman. I love Gerda. He has her as the 5th worst legendary. 1, 2, 3, 4, yes, 5. Grades are a 2.5 out of 5. She got the AoE weaken. Okay. After attacking, she got poisons on enemies without weaken. Makes no sense, whatever. And then she's got the kind of mini cleanse here with 2 poisons. Again, she's a weird champion. I think I told you guys this before, but I'll say it again, right? The kit does not seem bad, right? Whenever an enemy receives a debuff, turn meter is decreased by 3. Okay, cool. Her kit doesn't seem awful. But when I built her, I found myself like really underwhelmed, you know? She's dishing a little bit of damage. Her multipliers suck. She's not doing much damage. It's mostly from the poisons, you know? And then she got the weaken. I don't know. Little cleanse, 2 random debuffs from all allies on a 3-turn cooldown. You could do worse, you know? Give me a Mighty Uko all day, but I mean, not that Mighty Uko even has a cleanse. I'm just trying to, I don't know. Why did I compare it to Mighty Uko? Either way, guys, Gerda Bogbrew, I kind of agree. I am just not impressed with Gerda Bogbrew. I think she is bottom 10. So far, I'm agreeing with a lot here on the Hades website. All right, next up, guys, is going to be, this guy I definitely agree with. Ginro the Stork. Dude, this guy with the big schnoz, man. Yeah, my nose isn't that big. It's kind of crooked, though. I broke my nose when I was like 18. I won't tell you the story of how. It's a little bit, if you stare at me straight on, you can see. To all those crooked nose people out there, I got you back, man. Enough nose talk here. We have a 50% chance to increase the cooldown of one target skills. Okay, who cares? Attack one enemy with a stun for 2 turns. One enemy? Nah, doesn't do a lot of damage. Increase defense on this champion to counterattack. Dude, he's trash for a void legendary. Dude, he has a passive. Unless his passive is keep everybody alive all the time, then he's still trash. Increase his defense every time they counterattack. At the end of the turn, places a provoke debuff on 1 turn under increased attack. Dude, nah, man. And he's a Doom Tower Secret Room hard champion, one of the last ones you get. No, thank you. He is trash of trash of trash. You don't get him till you've been playing the game for years on the Doom Tower Secret Room, you know? Anyway, who is ever gonna build that dude? Next up, he has Errol. Errol is like a heavy hitter, man. Helmbreaker and Negation both do a lot of damage. Only problem is like, what are you trying to do with a single target nuker? Who uses Errol now, you know? I mean, maybe getting a little bit of damage for faction wars, that's about it. I would not build him and I would not book him. I actually have him and I haven't built him because, you know, give me Faceless, right? At least I don't have to spend legendary skill tomes on him. I'll spend epic skill tomes, and Faceless can do basically the same amount of damage as Errol. It might be a little bit different, but I mean, I'd rather build up a heavy hitter who's actually an epic, right? And it's the same thing, with both on a 3-turn cooldown as well. I mean, give me Faceless all day, every day. I would not, especially if you have other options. I would not invest unless you absolutely need some damage in the Sacred Order. But there's a lot of damage dealers in Sacred Order too, you know, like you got Inquisitor, you got plenty of options. So I'm staying away there. So I actually agree with Errol. No offense, Errol. You hit hard. Congratulations, but that's it. Next up is a champion that I've always hated on, man. I've always hated on this dude, and it is, I always forget his freaking faction. Is there any champion that you always forget their faction? Elegaeus. What is he? What is Elegaeus? I thought he was undead. Knight Revenant, right? Knight Revenant? Is that? No. He is undead, Ash. You just missed him, you dummy. All right, there he is with his freaking tongue. I mean, look at that.
Don't give a damn.
What a sicko. Get some manners, Elegaeus? Gaius?
Elegaeus.
Gaius. Attack one enemy. If they're dupes, they can put the target skill. I guess it's nice if you're going against 4 Krisks. I don't know, you know? Ghost Rage and AoE with removing 2 buffs and some turn meter stuff based on math. Get out of here, Elegaeus. I tried to talk myself into liking him too. I built him, I put OP gear on him. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get some value out of this dude. Nope. Finally, someone that I disagree with on, we're getting to the end here of then we're gonna move over to Yumi Love. But finally, someone who I actually disagree with, I would invest in this champion, Warchief. Warchief, to me, is the king of Magma Dragon. You know, he's the king of provoking. He's got the 3-time hitter with a 35% chance of provoke on the A1, right? I believe it doesn't read like it, but I think that's on each hit. But I might be crazy there. You guys can let me know. Because, oh, no, it's not each hit. My bad. He's got to provoke on a 2-turn cooldown on the A2. I forgot that it was a 2-turn, not a 3-turn. That's why he's just an amazing provoker, right? I mean, 2-turn cooldown. Provoke lasts for freaking 3 turns on a 2-turn cooldown. So, like, listen, he's super one-dimensional. If you attack against him, he'll probably kill your Seer or whoever you're nuking him with, right? But this doesn't actually equal to too much damage in practicality when you're using him on your team, this passive. However, if you're just looking for a great provoker, look no further, right? I mean, Warchief is my personal favorite provoker out there in the game in terms of single target. That's why I use him on my Magma Dragon team. He's tanky, and yeah, I mean, I actually like Warchief. I'm not saying he's a top tier legendary by any stretch, but I'm saying he wouldn't be on my bottom 10 personally. All right, next up, another champion that I disagree with. 2 back-to-back here, and this will be the last one on the list. He has War Mother as the 10th to last worst champion. 10th to last?
I thought it was kind of weird too.
I actually think that this is going to be, I'm going to get some crap for this in the comments. I actually think that War Mother is a little underrated. If you're looking for a bomb champion, you could do a lot worse. She's got an AoE attack, 2 AoE attacks, right? So, you know, double nuke right there with solid multipliers, right? Attacks all enemies, 2 bombs a day and after 2 turns. Bomb damage increases by 100% against bosses. And then an AoE attack instantly detonates all bomb debuffs if this champion is under an increased attack. So with like a Yoshi the Drunkard or something, like a really solid champion, a really solid combo, she can deal a ton of damage, you know? And I don't know why people hate on her so much, you know? I don't know. A decreased attack on the A1. I mean, I'm not saying she's, again, a world beater or anything like that. You know, like, give me a Gaius, the Gleeful instead, or Lord Shazar, but I think she might be my 3rd favorite bomb champion. Am I crazy? I don't know. You guys can let me know. All right, let's go to the you must be asking yourself at this point, well, wait a second. That's, who are the other 9 champions, right?
Oh, no, not at all.
Well, this is Yumi's Love bottom 10 champions. We'll go a little bit faster here. They have Rule the Huntmaster. Rule the Huntmaster as one of theirs. Where are you? Oh, dude, what is in my brain today? I'm going the wrong faction on everybody. I'm sorry. So Rule the Huntmaster, dude, listen. The more Hex synergy that's released in this game, the better Rule gets. He already hits really hard. He has his passive, I've mentioned it before, but decreased speed of enemies under Hex, decreased resistance from those enemies, also increases the damage, this is an important one, also increases the damage enemies under Hex debuffs receive by 10%, and decreases the value of heals by 30%. So again, every Mithrala that's added to the game, like any good Hex champion, he gets a little bit better. So I actually would, given his damage, and his increased accuracy on everybody, and that passive, I would not personally have him on my bottom 10. I actually think he's like a pretty average champion, a legendary champion in the game. He's grown on me a lot. He can deal, again, like serious damage there, okay? So we disagree with that one. Next up, we have Raf Matab here. So this guy, again, I don't really care for this dude. I'm not going to lie to you guys. But I don't think he'd be on my bottom 10. Because think about it, I agree with like 7 of Hades' guys, so I only have 3 spots here, I feel like, right? An AoE provoke, right? 100% provoke, block damage on himself, 3-turn cooldown. That's a really good, Stampede is a really good provoke ability. And then he has increased resistance and reflect damage on all allies. Increased resistance, there's only a few champions in the game who have that on an AoE. So I actually don't think he's super trash at all, you know? Like, again, he's not a world beater. He's definitely like a C level or C- level, in my opinion, champion, but I don't hate him. And I'm going to keep disagreeing. I love you, Yumi. Operdin Clanfather. How dare you include him in the top and the bottom 10? I actually think this guy is a beast of a healer. He can deal out like a sneaky amount of support damage. He's not like a damage dealer, but he's got the AoE that he just keeps pumping out again and again here. He's got heals on heals on heals on heals. And I just think that, like, I don't know, he's got the turn meter fill on the passive is too. You know, it's funny, I talked about him in a recent video, and there was like, I was 75% of you guys in the Operdin Clanfather fan club. I heard from you guys in the comments. Much love. And then 25% were like, yeah, he absolutely sucks, Ash, you're crazy. So there you go. Okay, next up we have, oh man, another champion who kind of sucks that I'm actually a big fan of, and that's Nogdar the Headhunter, man. This guy has the bad reviews. But if you give this guy, put this guy in a Frenzy set, we talked about it before, because he's sacrificing so much HP, and on Frenzy set, it's filling your turn meter every time you're losing HP, but when you're sacrificing, it still counts. So this guy just is sacrificing 50% HP, boom, right? And then he's sacrificing more 50% HP, boom, that's a 50%, that's a big turn meter fill, right? And then we also have a revival every time he dies, so we don't care if he dies as long as he's the only champion that's dying, so he can just dish out an insane amount of damage. But where are we actually practically using him, right? He's not as good as Seer for wave clearing. He's, you know, I guess if you need an Orc's damage dealer for faction wars, or help on your Doom Tower waves, he's a little bit, I think he's really cool, but he doesn't serve like a massive purpose because he can't stand up with like Poison Combust teams, like Eleanor teams, or Theodore teams, or Seer teams. But he's still a great and fun damage dealer. He wouldn't be in my my bottom 10, excuse me, but I can see why some people put him there. The next one is going to be Mountain King. The most HP in the game, 31k, makes him great for go second teams in the arena with a shield set on, or better yet, a bolster set on Mountain King. That's amazing. Hard-hitting Enchanted Axe, hard-hitting Regal Force. Now, it kind of falls into the camp of Arrow, right? He also has escalation on his attack percentage, useful for the arena, nowhere else really. He's super one-dimensional in the arena. Even at that, he's not one of the best nukers in the arena for my money. Like, give me a champion like, I don't know, Krutraxa, even like a Bloodgorged. Personally, I kind of like the flexibility that we have there. Deny revival and put down ally school down skills. So I'm not a massive Mountain King fan. However, I'm not sure he's a bottom 10 legendary either. You know, you can definitely get utility out of him in the arena. So I think I disagree, even though I'm not the biggest fan, but like he has a really strong use case again for a go second team in the arena. Next one again, man, I feel like I'm really hating on Yumi Love because I disagree with everything. They got Constantine the Dayborn in there, and I disagree, man. I think this guy's a beast. I'd rather run with Constantine than run with Mountain King, and you could say, yeah, that's probably obvious because he's a void legendary Ash, but man, Quietude hits incredibly hard. And then this Rune Shatter hits really, really hard as well. And he brings, you know, I guess a little bit more to the table in the Deny Revival off of his passive against certain factions. So they gave him a small buff recently as well. He's not one of my favorite Void Legendaries in the game, but I definitely would not put him in the same camp as like the Errol's and the Mountain Kings. I like him a bit better there. I would probably put, personally, Holstring, the Smoke Monster. My lovely, amazing editor, Osama. That was one of my favorite shard pulls that he's ever edited. Run it back, Osama. Run it back for the people, man. Here it is! Rocks him in the whole spring. No! Whole spring! I hate Whole Spring. I hate him. He's the new Harrier, man. First of all, aesthetically, this dude looks cool. He's got smoke, like Lost, like the TV show, smoke monster vibes coming out of him. Where's Mr. Echo or John Locke? Aesthetically, I love this dude, but I don't really care for him that much. All right, next up is going to be, I'm sure a lot of you guys are like, dude, you're sleeping on two of the, I'm gonna go to the guys that I actually agree with now. Jingwan. How do you guys feel about Jingwan? I don't have him, but I hope I don't pull him. I'm not. He's much better than he used to be, though. I'll say that, right? They gave him a buff. He was the worst, a joke, a meme of Void Legendaries. Now, this ability isn't that bad, right? Compound Calamity, attacks one enemy, 2-turn cooldown. You can ignore all this other crap also. After the also, just ignore it, right? We have I'm just joking. He has block active skills for 3 turns, which is cool if the target's under decreased accuracy and decreased crit damage. That's a stupid condition, I think, personally. But on a 2-turn cooldown, increase the duration of all debuffs on the target by 1 turn. That's a 100% chance, right? So it's not quite as good as Vizier's A1, but it's the second best, maybe, buff extender. Am I missing anybody? I think it might be the second best buff debuff extender, excuse me, in the game. But you know, that's not really meta right now. Like, not many people, I should say, are using debuff extension strategies against, like, Clan Boss anymore. It's more the meta has shifted to, you know, Infinity Shield or unkillable teams, right? Helicath teams, essentially. Or Demitha or double Man-Eaters. Anyway, AoE ×2, 4-turn cooldown, decrease accuracy, decrease crit damage. Nah. Doesn't do it for me. This passive is insane. He can't be CC'd, and at the end of the turn, each enemy or ally removes all CC debuffs, or each enemy turn or ally turn removes all CC debuffs. It's an insane ability. You also get block debuffs. However, it's on a 4-turn cooldown, right? So that really mitigates some of the ability. Of course, you can use it one time in the arena. One time might be enough, but it's hard to say you're going to base a team around building this champion. Personally, unless if I didn't have Vizier and I really wanted a debuff extender, maybe I'd build him, but I do agree that he is in the top 10 worst legendary champions. So I agree with you there, Yumi Love. He has Jinro the Stork. We already talked about him. And then there's one champion that we have to talk about. One of my least favorite champions in the entire game. It's Chromax Moonblood. For my money, I think he's the worst friggin' legendary in Raid Shadow Legends, guys. I really do. And I guess the ratings back me up on that one. Again, a Doom Tower Secret Room hard champion who sucks! Okay, we get a 70% chance on one enemy to place a decreased attack on the A1. We attack one enemy again with a block buffs. Turn meter fail by 30%. Watch out now. And then we have attacks all enemies with a provoke and a decreased accuracy on a 4-turn cooldown. 4-turn cooldown? Aw, man. Now, when attacked, he has a chance of placing a hex debuff on the attacker. Dude, this guy is especially the fact, and I'm going to get off my soapbox. We're going to conclude the video here, but especially given how long it takes, they gotta buff these Doom Tower hard Secret Room champions, right? They really do, man. It really bothers me to get to, like, you know, why am I gonna grind Doom Tower to get these trashy champions that take so long? We're talking years for most players to unlock. Basically, you need to have way better champions than champions like Chromax Moonblood to even get to the point where you're unlocking him, which makes no sense. Anyway, guys, did I forget any of your least favorite legendary champions? Let me know in the comments below, or do you strongly disagree with any of these bottom 10 legendary champions? I took exception to some rankings. I'm sure you guys have your own opinions. Would love to hear from you in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, take care, guys.